Hola, my fellow astronauts. Hope we're all awesome as always as we move forward through time and space. Just wanted to take a few minutes today to reach out and talk to you about a new dock station that was released this last weekend rather, from JSO. This puts them up to 4 dock station units that they've put out since the Steam Deck has released this year. The new unit is HB0702. The big distinction with this new model, as you can see on the image to my side here, right there, that it has an included Displayport adapter. And basically the Displayport adapter is a version 1.2 Displayport adapter. It does a 4K at 60 Hertz resolution or a 2K at 120 Hertz for your option. But the big issue not issue, I guess, the big feature that it actually has is that you can simultaneously use either the HDMI and DisplayPort, as I said, simultaneously, or one or the other. So you can have one screen or two screens simultaneous to what you've got actually going on the Steam Deck itself while it is in docked mode in the desktop mode. I'm not quite sure what it would look like if you're just in the Steam Deck library. I don't know if you would get mirrored out the same image on both screens. I would imagine would be the case in that instance, rather than just the expanded desktop area. But if JSO would be so kind as to send one out for me to review, seeing as how I'm pretty well set with my SSD dock as soon as the issue gets resolved, which is preventing me from getting online with the Ethernet. Although I think even though this new JSO dock looks quite impressive, and I do have a television that has DisplayPort that we could test it on to see how well it works, I think that until I get my Ethernet issue resolved, wherever that lies, which I'm planning on going and speaking to my internet service provider today. I have a fiber optic internet connection here where I'm situated. So I'm going to try to figure out if it's something in the IPv6 handshake under the Linux operating system somehow conflicting with the way that the gateway router works itself. Because if it's not that, then it has to be something within the Linux, as I've mentioned in previous videos. But, like I said, I wanted to reach out today to kind of just give people a little bit more insight about other docks that are available. This new dock is actually kind of a competition piece to the official Steam Deck dock that just released this weekend. And honestly, the biggest difference between these two units is their layout on how they have things situated on the back. And then, as you can see here on the JSO dock, the actual port is on the corner, as you can see under my cursor, on the side. Whereas on the Steam Deck dock, everything is along the back bank. In fact, you can see that right here on this image before the Steam Deck spins. But the big difference that you're going to see also is, as you can see right here, this is $89, and this is all plastic, right? So I can say, as somebody who owns a JSO dock, and mine is made from aluminum, the aluminum JSO dock does actually work like a heat sink. And so it does, as I've mentioned in previous videos, it does get a little bit warm to the touch, so it's something to be considerate to, but it doesn't get so hot that you couldn't easily use the system in dock mode and actually kind of pull some of that body heat that would otherwise be trapped in the system itself down into the metal of the dock itself, since it's going to work as a heat conductor. So in that regard, when you've got that much high bandwidth video processing going on and all that kind of stuff, it's certainly not a bad idea. That, and you can also, when it's not on sale, which it is right now this week, not to date this video, but right when this first coming out, they are having an introductory sale. Normally the HB0702 is going to be $60, but it appears right now this week they've got it listed at $53.99, so they are taking 10% off if you act fast to pick one of those up. As I said, you do have the other option if you would prefer to go with the Steam Deck unit. It has many of the exact same capabilities, but the biggest difference is going to be, as I said, these connections in the back, the Ethernet connection actually being right there. And as you can see, another display of the background layout. You've got the cluster of USBs here in just one little section, and then you've got your DisplayPort and your HDMI next to each other, along with the USB-C for power and pass-through. And then, of course, the HDMI cable is in the same area and has the same 90-degree built-in connection. So that's nice. If I were to have an opportunity to review one of these docks, either of them, I would be gladly interested. If either company would like to reach out to me through the tech support lines that we've had open, I would certainly be willing to do something a little bit more freeform, run it through its paces, give an honest review. I certainly have appreciated the candor and the conduct of both companies, which I guess I can kind of touch on right now. As you all know, I had a previous video where I kind of took Valve to task for giving me a little bit of a corporatized answer on them just kind of giving a canned response when I tried to give them a little bit of help. Evidently, it seemed to them that I was just bringing them dead lizards, and I can understand that. I've had a cat, and you're just like, but you don't yell at the cat for bringing you a dead lizard. You just say thank you, take the dead lizard, throw it in the trash, and give the cat a snack or a treat. The only thing you need to do to give the treat, as I said in the previous video, was to say politely, thank you for your time, your consideration. We really enjoyed the fact that you care about our products, and that would have quite easily sufficed. And evidently that video that I put out must have had somewhat of an impact, got around to somebody somewhere, because as you can see right here, I actually did get a response back from them, which simply reads, "Thank you for following up with us. We are investigating the issue further. As soon as we have more information, we will update your ticket. Thank you for using Steam, Jean-Pierre." And to that, I say thank you so much. That was all I was even looking for the other day, was just a little bit of acknowledgement and, some sense that you were going to get in contact with me down the line. So I'm glad we've all had a chance to have a little bit of a learning experience, and we can all honestly move forward, together, trying to solve these little hiccups and these little minor issues. If either Valve or JSAUX would like to reach out to me, please do feel free. You have my email. You can contact me either through the official lines that we've been having open through the tech support. But if you need to send me something a little bit more official and outside of that line, because one hand doesn't wash the other necessarily in large scale or organizations, I totally understand that. But with that stated, you're not under any obligation to reach out to me, but I do appreciate that we can kind of start moving forward without any kind of saltiness between us, because I really do appreciate the hardware that you've put out recently, so much so that one of the coming changes, hopefully here in the next few weeks, as I build everything up, I've been reaching out to some of my fellow art school alumni, and we are hopefully working towards being able to have a game deck tech review kind of podcasty thing at some point in the nearish future when we get a little bit more of the details worked out. I will definitely keep you more abreast on that situation, but I at least wanted to bring it to your view, because when I was talking about the awesome deck being more than just this simple review about my docking station, I really do want to help build a community while we're early in the development of this console's life cycle, and actually help take the time to shape where we go as a gaming community, and being able to actually have a little bit of something that we haven't had in the gaming industry for a few years, it seems, because we've watched it happen to music, we've watched it happen to movies, we've watched it happen to TV as it becomes these terrible streaming services that just are kind of like welfare queens, expecting us all to pay them out every month so they can just put out terrible content. I think that we can do better. And when we now actually have the available equipment that we can do real-time live broadcasting and things like that, you know, using free softwares, we have every capability as much as any large-scale corporation right now, as long as we can have access to some level of a platform, you know, to run the communication through. We can do not necessarily better or worse, but we can do different, and we can do it for different reasons. You know, it might not be the most popular thing when it first comes out, but we can have an effect on the industry. Right now, in the comic industry, Eric July has recently started a comic by the name of ISOM. He made over $3 million in a funding campaign that was set up and everything like that. And so, you know, there are opportunities if we actually just start taking back our time, our effort, our entertainment, you know, and our ability to actually be a community and grow together, you know, and actually spend our time focusing on how to repair the damages, not just who we want to keep at fault. Because, you know, quite honestly, we all own cell phones, so we're all complicit to some degree of, you know, some insanity that we wouldn't really want to think about much beyond what I've even already said. So with that stated, I don't want to make this a super long video. I just kind of wanted to reach out, a little news piece, and tell you that I had, you know, kind of spoken or heard back from Valve the day after I had made my one post, and, you know, I'm glad that they have taken a time to reach out to me to kind of correct the issue and just, you know, thank me for my dead lizard, and hopefully, you know, they didn't just throw it in the trash. They have at least looked over my 5-minute video maybe. But even if they haven't, I will follow up as I know more. And I am working towards getting my bug report filled out, but I need to go talk to my internet service provider because, like I say, I have fiber optic internet, and so I'm wondering if that is somehow causing this weird issue for whatever reason within Linux, even though everything works perfectly fine when I run the Steam Deck using Windows through the SD card slot. But again, I don't want to sit here and ramble on with you all day long. You all have a fun-filled remainder of the day and a wonderful week ahead. And as I said, hope you're all going to stay awesome as always. We keep moving through time and space, and I will see you again as soon as possible with more news, reviews, and all that other silly stuff that people like to do on the internet. Talk to you soon.